My name is Susan Timmerman, and I grew up in Anderson, and I came to Lander for college, and I met a boy down here and ended up staying. And I've been here in Greenwood for 42 years. I spent 14 years at home as a stay-at-home mom, had kids, and figured out they were more fun than adults. And so I went back to get certified to teach, and I've been a teacher in Greenwood District 50 for about 24 years until a stroke changed my life. I was morbidly obese and was a diabetic, didn't know it, and was in the classroom one day and a student asked me, was I okay? And I said, no, I don't feel well. And so I went to my partner teacher and said, can you stand in my room? And she looked at me and she said, you need to go to the nurse right now. And this side of my face was drawn, like dropped. And so she had a student in my classroom walk me to the nurse. She acted quickly and called the hospital, and they alerted the stroke response team. Within 8 minutes of walking in the door, they had me in the CAT scan. They had me FaceTime and screen this, I guess, I don't know what you called it, Zoom or whatever, with the doctor at MUSC, and they had doctors at Self, and they had a whole response team that I didn't even know about. And on that team was one of my son's best friends, and they were volleyball players and hung out together, and so there was a familiar face there that kind of gave me comfort and felt like I was going to be okay. Just kind of eased my fears, because when somebody tells you you're having a stroke, it's one of the scariest things. And Dallas, I think at the time must have been, on the team, but now I think he kind of runs the team. And but anyway, this was 2016, and they felt like it was a TIA, which is similar to a stroke. But to me it was a stroke, because to me it changed everything. And I woke up the next day and a hospitalist doctor came and saw me and talked to me and explained to me that my blood work, how bad it was and how neglected I had been, in taking care of myself, and that I had diabetes and my blood was so thick, and they just listed off all these things, and I was just like, you must be crazy. I'm healthy, I coach tennis, but when thinking back now, I was standing at the net throwing the balls. I wasn't really playing with the team, much, and I had gained so much weight, and so they put me on a lot of medicine, and they put me on insulin, and I don't even remember what all they put me on, but it was, to try to get my life back in order. So I did a lot of research, and I went to, the library and got some white papers and started eating better and started exercising and started running, and they blew my knee out. A couple of years later, lost about 87 pounds and had to come to Self for a knee replacement. And rocking along, thinking your world's really good and you're healthy and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then standing in a classroom, I was in a different grade level. I was down the hall teaching, and I was calling the roll, and I called the same little boy's name about 6 times, and a little girl in my class, she said, Miss T, you're not right, Miss T. But I was sitting at my computer, and I couldn't, at the time it was pandemic, post-pandemic, and I had 4 screens. One of those screens had 40 screens on it, and then I had 20 kids on the wall at home and 10 in the room. And I was trying to figure out how to open my email, and of course, that was the simplest thing you can do, because I was going to email my boss and say, I'm not feeling well. And I got down to the nurse's office, and I couldn't even really hold my phone. I dropped it. So they located my husband, but I didn't know that. So the whole ambulance ride over there, I was thinking, I'm just going to go to the hospital and they won't find him, and I can't talk. And, so I got more wound up, stressed out on top of, the stroke, and I couldn't like they were asking me my birthday 1,000 times. And I was like, month, day, year. I mean, I had some kind of connect, but I didn't say the actual month. I just said the word month. And rolling into that ambulance bed, and those doors flew open, and there was standing Dallas and my husband. And it was like relief to see them both and to know I was going to be okay, that I had made it to self. You know, the curtain swung back and Jessica Cole was there. Well, she's kind of part of our family. The curtain swung back and it was Nancy Dixon. And, you know, people would just, every turn, there were people, you know, that just stepped in to check on me because they knew me. I taught their kid, or, you know, they worked with my husband, or, you know, I mean, they knew Wade from the cath lab. I mean, it was just hometown, you know, and I think that gives you a sense of, I'm okay now, I'm here. You know, the first stroke, I didn't have grandchildren. And that was my mantra when I started walking and running and doing the couch to 5K. And it was, I'm going to see my grandbabies. I'm going to see grandbabies. And now I have, you know, a 3-year-old light of my life and one on the way. And I wouldn't have gotten to meet them if it weren't for the TPA and the stroke response team. So yeah, I'll testify. I'll tell whoever asks. You know, self-regional more than once, actually more than twice, but more than once has been instrumental in saving me and giving me a chance to be with my family longer.